Really not going to answer that question, so let me get on to,
Would you like to?
I do have
I'd love to
questions for
respond.
the second round.
You'll have a second round. Would you like to speak before I call on Senator Cruz?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Senator Cruz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General Bondi, welcome. Thank you for
Thank you.
your long career in public service, and thank you for your willingness to take on this incredibly important office. You know, I have to say, I don't know that there is a more important position in this new administration than the position to which you have been nominated.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Congress Every Day. Today we're diving into an intense moment from a recent Senate hearing. Senator Ted Cruz went head-to-head with Democrats over the nomination of Pam Bondi for Attorney General. There's a lot to unpack here, from politics to law enforcement and what it means for the future of the DOJ. Let's break it down. First off, we have Senator Ted Cruz stepping up to nominate Pam Bondi for Attorney General. Now, for those of you who might not know, Bondi has a long career in law and public service. Cruz wasted no time praising her qualifications, calling her a highly capable choice to lead the Department of Justice. But this wasn't just a typical nomination speech. Cruz went straight into criticizing the
Attorney General of the United States. I thought the exchange just a moment ago with Senator Hirono was illustrative. She asked you how you would respond if the president asked you to target his political enemies. It's rather striking because it's not a hypothetical. It has happened over the last 4 years. And I think perhaps the most tragic legacy of the Biden-Harris administration has been the politicization and the weaponization of the United States Department of Justice. And we don't need to ask hypothetically, because Joe Biden
criticizing the current state of the DOJ under President Biden. Cruz called out what he sees as a serious issue: politicization and weaponization of the DOJ, something he argues has severely impacted public trust in federal institutions like the FBI. Next, Cruz didn't hold back in his criticism of the Biden administration. He accused the DOJ under Biden and Vice President Harris of becoming a partisan tool, undermining justice by targeting political opponents. Cruz even referenced how some believe the Biden administration is out to get Trump, pointing out the weaponization of federal agencies to achieve political goals. And if you look at
publicly mused and allowed the New York Times to report it, calling on Merrick Garland, why will he not prosecute Trump more quickly? And Merrick Garland, sadly, he sat in that chair and promised to be apolitical, and he broke that promise almost the instant he walked into the Department of Justice. If you look on the west pediment of the Supreme Court of the United States, just above the entrance, there's a simple yet profound four-word phrase: equal justice under law. We have seen over the last 4 years a Department of Justice that systematically targeted the political opponents of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and that systematically protected his friends and allies. And it is tragic to see the loss of confidence in the American people, in the Department of Justice, and in the FBI. I would note, I don't think there's an institution in America who has lost.
And if you look at the last few years, especially with Trump's multiple legal battles, Cruz argues that what we're seeing is unprecedented in our country's history, but more on that later. Now, Cruz takes a step back and makes a powerful point about the concept of equal justice under law, a core principle of the American justice system. He expressed concern over the erosion of this principle, especially in light of the recent controversies surrounding the DOJ's handling of cases against political figures. Cruz emphasized that the DOJ should be nonpartisan and uphold justice fairly for all Americans. At this point, Cruz is looking for a commitment from Bondi. Will she ensure that the law is upheld impartially, no matter the political affiliations involved? So, how did Pam Bondi respond? Well, Bondi firmly committed to following
more respect from the American people than the FBI has in the last 4 years. That is a grotesque violation of the obligation of the Department of Justice and the FBI. So I want to start with just a very simple question. If you are confirmed as Attorney General, will you pledge to fairly and faithfully uphold the law regardless of party.
So help me God.
Amen. Look, and I want to be clear for folks at home. I don't want a Republican Department of Justice. I don't want a Democrat Department of Justice. I want a Department of Justice that follows the damn law. And I think the American people do too. That shouldn't be too much to expect.
Following the law without any partisan bias. She made it clear that if she is confirmed, she won't run a Republican DOJ or a Democratic DOJ. She'll run one that simply follows the law, as it should be. And she's got the experience to back it up. Bondi served as Florida's Attorney General for 8 years, handled thousands of criminal cases, and supervised a large team of lawyers. Cruz made sure to highlight that, saying she was more than qualified for the role. Now let's talk about the controversy surrounding Bondi's connection to former President Trump. Some Democratic senators tried to paint her as Trump's personal lawyer, which, as Cruz pointed out, is simply not accurate. Bondi clarified that her role was as a White House special advisor during Trump's impeachment trial, not his personal.
Now, I'm grateful to President Trump for nominating you. I think on any objective level, you're clearly qualified for this position. You have been a prosecutor for decades. You have been the elected Attorney General of the state of Florida, the third largest state in America, for 8 years. Let me ask you, in terms of your practice, how many criminal cases...
Not his personal lawyer. And Cruz was quick to set the record straight. Bondi did not represent Trump in his business or personal legal matters. She was serving the office of the president, and that distinction is a big deal. To wrap it all up, this hearing wasn't just about Bondi's nomination. It was about ensuring the future of the Department of Justice stays true to its mission of equal justice for all. Pam Bondi's response was clear. If confirmed, she'll work tirelessly to uphold the law impartially. Cruz's tough questioning and criticism of the current DOJ show just how heated this confirmation process really is. So what do you think? Will Bondi uphold the law without political bias? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more in-depth breakdowns on political hearings, hot topics, and everything in between. Thanks for watching, and